Hi guys. So I'm gonna see if I start teaching some stuff again. I'll see if I'm drawn to this. Um, yeah. So I already have two. I think there's two YouTube channels that had popped up, but I can't access one of them with my one email. So yeah, I'll see if anything comes up that I want to talk about. Um, yeah. So the how do I describe this? Abuse could be one I get into because the spiritual abuse I dealt with the past couple years and who's involved with that. I might get into that more. I've already talked about that in a couple videos, stuff that I have dealt with what now that I know of spiritual warfare, generational trauma, sexual trauma, all sorts of stuff. Um, yeah, healing stuff. Yeah, so I'll see what I want to get into. So, give me one sec. So right now, as I'm talking, I've been having stuff. So this is from a soul family member trying to be manipulative. So I cut all cords with their source and how could you cut all the cords that need to be cut? So my aura. Okay. Go to space. Space is cleared. Okay. Okay. So, I have to feel, not even have to feel, things I want to get into on here. The things I just mentioned there, and the fact that most of the groups in the States, spiritual groups, are corrupt, and they're posting, and there's a lot of shit of people just working together, doing a lot of shit that I've seen who they are, and I wouldn't recommend almost anyone listen to them. And I've seen a bunch out of Canada too. And yeah, so I've really had enough of seeing that. I've really had enough. I've really had enough of this. I've really had enough of this. Yeah, there's a lot on Instagram. There is a lot of toxic shit being posted. There's a lot of people being really toxic, being manipulative. There's been witchcraft thrown into different posts, different things that are just like what people are doing. They're being, just being, what's the word for it? How they're acting. I'm really just, what's the word for it? I said in another video that I was like, wow, that's who you guys are, right? That's who you guys really are. And some of these people are out there with a bunch of books, spiritual books, and teaching and doing podcasts and all this, and even some YouTube and courses, all this shit. And I'm just like, so they're doing that sort of stuff, and then they. So what I've seen of them. So I've seen group bullying out of spiritual teachers that have been on Oprah. That's Gabby Bernstein. And she involved friends of hers, which would be Lewis Howe, Jay Shetty, Mary Forleo, Mel Robbins also posted some shit in there. And then they had different celebrities post different shit. That's who some of these people are. And then I'm looking at this going, so wait a minute, you guys have never been to Christ conscious, which is a vibration of 1,000, or to the 12th dimension or higher, which I look at that, I was like, that is what you would call, you could say Christ conscious, you could say, like when any term you want to say with this. Okay, there's Krishna conscious, you could describe him as a Buddha, all this. That's a vibration of 1,000, and then the 12th dimension, you would have to reach the 12th dimension. So the Earth going, like, when you're looking around and you're going, okay, we're going through ascension, yeah, the planet's moving up. The planet is ascending, so moving upward. So people are ascending, each person, okay? So fifth dimension, that's what the planet's supposed to be going to. It can definitely go higher, but when there are teachers that are maybe in the seventh, eighth dimension, not even fully in the eighth, and some of the shit they're teaching, or how they're, not even just what they're teaching, but the shadow, the darkness, the behavior coming out of some of them, that I'm going, what are you doing? And they're doing it as groups, okay? And I'm kind of going, well, then seeing how they're acting and the fact that there's people that are watching them and listening to them is when I'm going, this isn't good. I don't want people to be watching people like that and thinking they're people to listen to. I'm literally going, I think at this point I'm kind of have this thing of like, kind of feeling like, go and watch the people that are in the 12th dimension, that are Christ conscious, that or above, okay? Watch those people. I was Christ conscious like around 6 years ago and reached galactic conscious, and the difference is huge. You hit the 12th dimension, I've been to the 33rd dimension. The difference is huge, absolutely huge. So to the point, I mean, massive, massive difference, massive difference. Okay, so when you're seeing, when I be seeing people that are going around teaching like this, it's literally like I said in another video, like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're just shaking it. You're just like, oh my god, not even shaking your head. You're just, wow, really? That's what you guys are doing, huh? Acting like that, just like wow. And people listening to you. So I've really had enough of that. So I will not be around people like that. I don't care if they're well known in the world. I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be around people like that. People that can go online and be completely fake, building a fake image, not showing all the rest of the stuff I picked up on in them, and I'm like, all right. And then it was, to have it that, like, there's a lot that's happened the past couple of years. So I find when I turn the camera on and I do YouTube, I can just talk. I'm finding with certain things, social media, it's just, I need to be able to get the camera on and just talk and keep going and going. If it ends up being an hour or more, it keeps going. It will keep going. It's just like, okay. So, yeah, I've seen that a bunch of them. Guys, I saw, oh god, there's just so much freaking corruption coming out of a lot of different areas, and I didn't expect it to come out of certain people in certain ways. And when there's posts being made, like nasty posts with like YouTubers and getting other people to make nasty posts, I don't respect people that will, when I see people go and get a group of people together to try to bully one person, I've lost all respect for them. I don't respect them at all when I see that. I don't feel they should be out there teaching spirituality and talking about this stuff when they're out there doing that. When I'm like, wow, you guys were doing that as a group. They're doing that as a group. And then they're out there saying, oh yeah. So, I mean, when I saw some of these people do that, I was like, wow, I just have zero respect for you guys now. I don't want to talk to you, interact with you, nothing. And it feels gross to see that they're out there making fake posts about certain things and being like, oh, that's really happy. But, and meanwhile, I'm like, this is who they really are. This is what they did as a group. This is how they were actually acting. I've had enough of seeing that. And not one of them has even hit my Christ conscious. I'm like, what is this? What the fuck is going on here? This is really strange. I was not looking and comparing before. So, like, no, it wasn't. This has been for me, oh God. How long have I been into this now? 12 years, maybe over 12 years. Yeah, it could be longer than that. But I need to say this, what I'm realizing, and it's come to me, is even at a young age, I was already a lot more aware than, like I've been remembering more, okay? So there used to be, if there was a sponged wall, I remember looking at it and I could already see, and I mean like psychically see, as in like I'm looking and then all of a sudden I'm seeing faces in the wall. Or I knew things were going to happen, but like this feeling of, I feel different. Like I know that, I don't know why, I feel like I'm going to know when things are going to happen before they happen. Or that guy over there, when he's walking by, he's talking about me, and he was like, it was like it sort of came up. I believe it was his thoughts I started to pick up on actually. So being like telepathic and all this stuff that was already there. I was literally doing intermittent fasting and intuitive movement, which would be yoga, when I was like 15, 16. And like naturally, it was like, I got to go into nature. I got to go and I need to go and run in nature. I need to do this movement. I need to go and do photography. I need all the colors I was wearing, even in high school, I was wearing all the chakra colors except for maybe violet or purple. All of them. I got all these different shirts and they're all the different chakra colors. I did a ton of fasting, like a bunch of fasting, and how much I got in. And I had this feeling of like, I need to find mescaline. I don't know why mushrooms and mescaline. I have this feeling I need to work with it. Like I need to use this. And yeah, even experience. Yeah, interesting. So as much as it's been, like I look back when I left being a mechanic, how many years it's been with that. Even before that, like I've been remembering, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's been that way for a long time. Yeah, so I'll see what comes up here. I used to have 2 different channels before where I taught a bunch of natural healing. I did teach some energy stuff. It would pretty much be like when, yeah, okay, I feel like I need to go and teach or whatever would come up. And I had times where one was like, yeah, I'm trying to think how many videos I had before, like a couple hundred at least. But yeah, we'll see. Only what's coming up that I feel I should talk about. I don't like these people going, oh, I gotta just put this out at this time, and just the way I'm not putting out shit. I'm not putting out fake. I'm not gonna put out stuff that feels forced. I'm not looking to go back and forth with someone that feels forced or fake. Something people I don't resonate with. I always used to just put the camera on and just start teaching and start going. I could sit there. Okay, what needs to come through? Boom, boom, boom. Maybe write it out. Because I know a lot about a lot of things. Yeah, so energy, natural healing, all this sort of stuff, manifestation, a lot of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, just getting to. There's been so much that's happened in the past couple of years, and I find when stuff like that happens, sometimes I'll just go write down, I learned this, 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 and this. And I'll just sometimes it's a big list. And it's like, wow, that's a lot. And I'm going, okay, so what have I learned from this? Okay, do I teach what needs to be taught? So, I mean, these things with the community, some of these groups in the States, yeah, it showed me more that, yeah, I mean, none of these people have reached the 33rd dimension. None of them have reached galactic consciousness. So that was a big thing for me. I went, oh my God. And I was like, whoa, I have. I don't compare like that. I don't normally do that. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, that's weird. And that's weird that I used to see you guys so-and-so as like somebody teaching on, I don't know, something you'd see something on YouTube you're watching, like, oh yeah, they're teaching to a group. And now I'm like, whoa, that person, I was already Christ conscious and they were working towards that and they were teaching that group. And whoa, I've gone way further past what a lot of these guys have spiritually. I'm like, whoa, this is really weird. And I started to see that more and more in this past couple months. I'm going, this is strange. This is really strange. Interesting. And I'm letting that kind of like, whoa, okay. But I just, yeah. Whatever I feel needs to come up on here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. The thing is, I know a lot about a lot of things. And I'm not saying that, like, oh yeah, look at me, I know everything. That's not what I'm saying, but I know a lot. I know quite a bit. Yeah. So energy healing, spirituality, health, healing in general. There's a lot. There's a lot I've learned about a lot of things. So see if there's anything that comes up on here that I want to talk on. Yeah. And if I actually want, I just find when I did this before, it feels good to turn the camera on and just start talking. And what comes up, comes up. And it's just like, yeah, I'm seeing that. I like that. I like that sort of stuff of turn it on. What I'm supposed to teach, I teach. And yeah, and I didn't even, whatever was coming up. So before, I put out a ton of stuff. It was a ton of stuff I learned. So, yeah. So maybe this ends up being one of the first videos. We'll see about that. If there's anything I want to throw in there. But yeah, I pretty much saw it. This includes, there was those bunch of those teachers, and then they included celebrities, and it was just a lot of corruption. And people acting really, really abusive, really toxic, bullying, threats, trying to do intimidation, a lot of shit. And I just was like, wow. And meanwhile, some of these people have written for like well-known publishers, and you might have seen them on TV, and they were pulling this stuff. And I went, wow, oh, this is really fucked up. And then, like, literally, it's like, I was going, haven't you guys done your shadow work? Did you not have teachers? Did you not have somebody teaching you? How is it that you are even acting that way? That you are supposed to be a certain, like, I don't want to say certain, you're supposed to be at a certain point or a certain even level. I don't even want to say that. Like, in the world, and you're acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you've done a TED Talk, so you're gonna be, okay, you're still acting like that. Oh, you teach for Mindvalley. Oh, fuck, you're acting like that. Oh, you wrote for whatever. Oh, you work with Deepak Chopra. Oh, and you're still acting like that. Oh, wow. Yeah, like literally teachers that need teachers, coaches that need coaches, healers that need healers. And it's been weird. Like, I'm telling you, this has been strange for me to have to go. I've coached coaches, I've taught teachers, I've healed healers, and I think I might have had another one in there that I was like, whoa, in different areas. Yeah. And then I went, oh God, like I used to be a former Ascended Master that was confirmed. And like I have a lot of knowledge on a lot of things. And seeing how I would want to teach that. Yeah, when I started really going, it would just start coming and coming. But yeah, actually having it, seeing how people are acting. Oh, this is fucked. How some of you guys are acting, and yeah. So I'll see. Right now, I don't know if I feel like doing anything after this video with this, because it just processing stuff. I can get into it on maybe another video. Just had a family member die, and her husband had actually died recently too. So there's that there. Yeah, I've had generational trauma clearing. Came back from head tick the past couple of years. Spiritual warfare. The bullshit with those people I mentioned online. There was people out of Moto Yoga in Alberta that also tried to group attack me and trying to pull other toxic shit. And I was clearing a lot of stuff on the planet. Yeah, I was clearing corruption. I was sending a lot of love and light. I was clearing a lot of shit, and there's been stuff that I've been doing stuff with. You can see Lightworker for many, many years. A lot I don't tell people. I just do it. And seeing how people were reacting when I was sending love and light to certain people. There were certain groups that got really angry when love and light were sent to them. There's certain people that got really angry when it was put out there to clear corruption. When all of a sudden it was like, whoa, and all their corruption starts coming up. And next thing you know, there's a group of people out of the States trying to bully you, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Yeah, that has happened. Oh yeah. So learning, okay, there's stuff I've learned. Maybe there's stuff on here I'll be teaching to other people who work with energy. I'll see about that. I'm finding with that, I don't want to see people teaching really advanced stuff with energy online. That's the feeling. I don't want to see that. I don't think you should. I feel that you should be teaching a small group of people and only people that you feel drawn to, that you feel you should be working with, and then teach them. That's my feeling on that. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff you're seeing on Instagram and all this sort of stuff, it's not getting into something super advanced if you see anything out there. And I still really have that feeling of like, no, it shouldn't be taught like that. It should be smaller group. Like, yeah, I look, when I learned, I think it was just my one team. Yeah, it was one-on-one. Yeah, one-on-one for different stuff, and then some was maybe with like, I don't know, 4 people, if that. Yeah, like getting really into it with like a couple of people. That's the way I still feel it should be taught, and I still feel from what I've seen people do with power in the past couple of years that it shouldn't be taught to everyone. That's what I feel. And some people that might annoy you of like, what do you mean everyone deserves? Okay, no, there's a reason that not everyone should be working with some of the energies, certain things that are, not everyone is. What did Sadhguru say? Oh, he said about the dimensions. Would they be able to handle it, going to the higher dimensions? Exactly. That's part of it. Could they handle it? Because it's not, if you move, when you're moving up spiritually, chakras below the feet open up more. So you have not just the root, there's the earth star, and then you go further below that. More and more chakras open up above the head. The crown, yes, it's open, but then you will go into like soul star, interstellar gateway, and it goes up, up, up. To the point, I don't even believe there's names after a certain point with those, and they just keep opening. So you have to have them under your feet to open up more so they can balance out for the top. It opens, opens, opens. Yeah, it could be very intense, and this is why having people there, if somebody is a teacher, to help people through that, so they understand of like, okay, it's all right what you're going through. I know if some of your gifts have opened up, that can be a lot. I get it if you're feeling a lot. There's maybe other people's energies, or you walk into a space, you're like, oh, it's really sensitive, and oh, that's the person's field you're feeling. Are you feeling more of what they're dealing with? All this sort of stuff that, yeah, there are people that in the past couple of years that were, they learned some things spiritually, and then they were trying to really abuse power. I've seen people on the stage that are supposed to be teachers that have abused the fuck out of power. And we're doing it, like I said, group bullying, all this sort of shit. I would not want to be teaching people that I know were already being abusive. I have seen people that have, former teachers of mine, refuse different people. And I agree with that. I really, really agree with that now. That I'd be like, no, get out. Like, get out. Yeah. So, I mean, everyone, because there are some people that are just trying to, like, yeah. So, I will see what I get into. Yeah. It's like there's so much that has happened the past couple of years that I have to see what comes, what starts to come up with what I want to get into on here. A bunch that has come up with seeing how people were acting and certain things that was coming up there that I was like, wow. So, I mean, oh, God. Oh, there's people that they didn't do their shadow work, their inner child healing, and then they are out there and they have a bunch of books out, they're doing whatever in the world, and like teaching spiritually, and then all of a sudden like I said, things come up in them, and next thing you know, they're acting like extremely toxic, getting a group of people together to be toxic and abusive together, because they obviously did not have like what. And when I say this, I don't want this to be like, oh, let's make an excuse for it. Everyone has free will. Okay, Earth is a free will planet. They have free will. Okay, and you should be far long enough. If they had a teacher, that teacher would probably I don't want to say tear a strip off them, but would probably lay into them in some way, shape, or form of like, what are you doing? or maybe even just refuse to teach them for stuff I've been seeing people do. So I mean, trying to overstep boundaries and go and mess with somebody's dreams, trying to do dark witchcraft, dark magic at people, send dark witches, throw witchcraft into social media, try to force a transfer between people, trying to like throw markers at people's houses and links to them and all sorts of bullshit stuff, things that were just like really toxic, really abusive, but doing it as groups without anyone realizing, because I guess they didn't have the teachers and didn't know this stuff of that's all coming back on all of them. All of it's coming back on all of them. So now you have entire groups of people in spiritual groups that are all going to be completely harmed because of what they've done. They didn't know because they were not moving up there. They were not at like they were not at a very high level spiritually, or they were not really up there spiritually. Even when I say that, I have that feeling of like somebody's going to have an issue with that, which whatever, I don't really care anymore. I don't, because obviously when I'm going, wow, I've been to the 33rd dimension and above Christ conscious, and some of you guys are out there teaching like crazy, and you guys are maybe not even in the 8th dimension. It is a huge difference. It's a massive difference in how some of them are acting. And I'm seeing a lot of people trying to act like, oh, you got to be authentic, you got to be this and that, and then they're not. Or they're not being like, I'm not saying they're fake. Well, no. Some of them are really putting it on. Really putting it on. Of like, I know, let's come up with, whatever it is. I mean, some of them are not, they're not showing their shadow, they're not showing their darkness, they are not showing their anger, they're not showing whatever, how they're feeling, whatever it is, okay? But they want to be like, no, you're just going to view me like this. This is just how it is. And I'm going, no, this is not, it isn't who they are. Yeah, so it feels gross to me, and it does happen when you move up spiritually. Wearing masks, I will not wear a mask. I'm to the point if I'm around a group of people and I'm going, oh, they're being fake, I'm just like, I'll walk away. I'll walk away. You don't want to be around it. You don't want to be around it, and you don't realize how much, like, there's a lot of stuff where people are walking around, and yeah. It is, I'm not, the feeling it feels like to get to that, to see through all this, it's this weird, you get to the point, like, I very, I have great friends, and I make sure that they're great friends. I make sure that they are like good people. I make sure that they are, that if I could feel right through, that it feels exactly the same for the person, okay? I do not want to be around fake. I don't want to be around fake, toxic people, and I'll pick it up very, very easily, and I see it, and it's just like, oh, somebody's wearing a mask, they want to be fake. I don't want to play into that. I don't want that at all. So I feel like maybe just saying some of this, just, I want people to see it, and then maybe they'll get it, and they will see it. And a lot of this is do your shadow work, heal your inner child. Do your shadow work, heal your inner child. But there is a lot of stuff that is on Instagram that people are trying to, well, it looks good on Instagram, man. It's kind of like that. Looks good on Instagram. It's like, yeah, they like, okay, gotta dress this way, gotta have a certain image, gotta put it on, gotta have the lighting, gotta have this, whatever. It's like, it looks a certain way and it looks great. Okay, but it could be fake, and they are not being their authentic self, and they are trying to kind of like, no, this is who I am, and really it's just like, you can literally just start talking and be yourself. Drop all the masks. I mean, I see people in there, they're talking without, like, in their way of one, like, there's so much work that needs to be done. That's pretty much it with a lot of these people. There's so much work that needs to be done, and I'm not saying that like I'm judging it, but I'm just like, when I'm seeing it, it's the issue that I have, the stuff that's coming up that was annoying me, that was like pissing me off, was I'm going, people are looking to you guys, and you knowingly, because I saw a bunch of them started to act like complete toxic assholes as a group, and then go online and pretend and make a post making it look like they're not being that way, being fake. They even had other people make posts on their behalf. So then you have these communities where people are coming to them for knowledge, and they're listening to the wrong people because they're acting like complete fucking assholes doing this stuff and doing it working together, so people might not know because they're going back and forth working as a group with each other. So then you have a group of corrupt people being fake, putting out shit that you're just like, wow, that's not you at all. That's fake. That's fake. How are they supposed to listen to this stuff? I think about people that want to get knowledge and learn and actually see it from people that they should be, who should you be talking, like listening to, and being able to pick up on it. So doing your shadow work. When you do your shadow work, you will see a lot more. And it's interesting when you see people that do shadow work, you can be looking around at friends you've had for a long time and all of a sudden go, oh my God, that's who they are. And that's what I've had a lot of in the past couple of years. That I've done a lot of shadow work. Still certain things came up in the past couple of years, but even more so as far as, whoa, that's who that person is. Whoa, okay, that's how they're acting. Whoa, you know, they made that post, but it looked this way, but this is what was here. This is what the energy says, but the post looks this way. And that's a big one that I want people to be able to pick. I want people to see this of like, it isn't just what they're posting on the surface. They want to make it look a certain way. And I mean, yeah. So I'm trying to think how certain things to teach. So I mean, I was told that I have the gift of discernment. Okay, so I can see people's light. I can see people's darkness. I can tell very easily, like who somebody is. Okay, very very easily, and I can pick up on, whoa, you got to watch this, and this with that person. Whoa, this, and that's going on, and not everybody has that level of discernment. Wanting to, it would be shadow work, I guess I'm going to say. Shadow work. If you go and you do more of your shadow work, which would be heal your inner child, you will start to see more because you'll see more of yourself. So the shadow is still you. It's just parts of your inner child that have gone into shadow. So did you repress or suppress something with your inner child? Did you repress or suppress something like a long time ago? Something happened, whatever, you repressed or suppressed it, and then all of a sudden just gone into shadow. So, yeah. So it's parts of you. I don't even like saying parts of you. No, it is you. But the portion of you that is in shadow. So it is about looking at that and like, oh, okay, then all of a sudden get it out of shadow. And then, okay, integrate the shadow. It's not good when people are like, no, the shadow's here, and then my light's here, and I'm conscious here, and then this stuff here, the shadow's just all this unconscious shit. Because what ends up happening, and I've seen this out of people now, including some of these teachers, that something happens, they get in an argument, and next thing you know, you're like, what the fuck is going on? You just got how many people to make videos to try to bully and be toxic, when you could have just like gone back and forth and said something, like you could have responded in some way, shape, or form, and you went into that like, what the fuck? Which means they have a lot of shadow, which means that is still them. So you're seeing them on a video, and then there's all this shadow, and this is all this other stuff going on. So they're walking around, all this shadow is affecting all this other portion of themselves. And people are going, oh yeah, well, okay, so that means you're going along in life, and I've seen this come out different ways. I'm seeing people that are, oh God, I don't know if I want to get into it. There's a good one that happened with a family friend, not towards me, towards a family member. I don't want to get into that, but when you see shadow come up that has not been, people didn't know it was even there, they will do stuff and act like or not even know that they even fully did it. Okay, it's like it just comes out because they haven't looked at that themselves. So it's just like, oh no, either they're being really whatever. Yeah, I don't want to say being really nice, but you could say, hey, yeah, they're a pretty nice person, whatever. And then oof, shadow out. When something happens, you're kind of like, whoa, whoa, holy crap. And they might be like, what do you mean? It's like they didn't see it. They didn't see it. So I have seen the, oh God, I mean, the group attack that happened from the people in Sherwood Park, Alberta, and the moto that worked in moto. You have people that you're like, oh, they look really, I don't know, innocent, or the one person who got it going, really innocent, all this sort of stuff. And I remember from the beginning, I said there was a whole other side to that girl, whole other side. There's a lot of anger there, but everyone else would be, no, they're this, they're that. Oh no, they're not. And then little by little, I started to see stuff. I started to see more and more and more with them. The facial expressions, thing with body language, the energy, certain unconscious stuff was coming out of like, whoa, what is that? What is that? Where did that come from? Until it fully came out, full shadow. So I went right into shadow, got a group together to attack me. Okay, so this is a huge issue, especially if they're out and that person's out there supposed to be teaching groups of people. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Um, yeah, what are you doing? I mean, if you are going to be doing teaching, you have to be doing your shadow work. You should be dealing with all of that, okay? Yeah, you have to heal your inner child, because otherwise, in that same person, I picked it out. They are like, it's like multiple levels of multiple ages going on in there. So the person is around 30, 37, 38, multiple ages. Okay, so some I saw that person. I remember seeing the person sitting there. They started talking with a friend, and all of a sudden they were so young. Seeing it, it was like, oh my God, like you were like very, very young, to the point you're like, oh my God. You could hear it in the speech. You could hear it. Oh, and so a part of them is still a kid. Part of them is still a kid. And then I saw the teenager in the person too. I saw them ride by on their bike, and I even saw it clairvoyantly at one point when they were trying to pull shit towards me. And it looked like a teenager, and I went, oh God. And then I saw all these different portions, all this stuff in there for that person, but it was all like this. And I was like, oh, great. And they did dark witchcraft and all this other shit. And I was like, oh, that's just great. So they didn't integrate their inner child. They didn't do their inner child work. They didn't integrate their shadow. They didn't do their shadow work. Next thing you know, something happens, and they're just all this sort of shit going on. And next thing you know, they get a group together, and then their friends are being complete assholes too. Who also, because of law of attraction, they would have all been together. So I say they all would have had the same sort of issues. So next thing you know, you just have a bunch of people that are supposed to be in their 30s acting like, yeah, pretty fucking young kids, acting like this, pulling this shit, and I'm like, wow, this is fucked. Uh, it's huge. I might, like, guys, shadow work is huge. It's huge. Okay. And the thing is, with that person I'm talking about, I picked it out early on that other people weren't seeing it. Now they probably will. But because I've done so much shadow work, because being at a higher vibration, higher dimensions, I could just clearly go, oh, that person that looks like they're like always going, hey, and they're happy and all that. I go, no, they're angry. They're actually angry. But you're seeing this stuff on top. They're angry. I have seen it when the masks have dropped and that person's walking along and it's like, whoa, different, way different. I have seen it. Yeah, I've seen quite a bit. There's completely different. Other people were, they wouldn't, do you know what I mean? That is what I'm getting at. What I've seen this in certain people. I'm like, whoa. And I have seen examples. I have definitely seen examples where other people would say, no, that person's like, they're really bright or whatever. I don't even say really bright. But you're going, oh, they're this nice person. And I'm going, that nice person? This, and this. And start picking it out because I've done the shadow work, the inner child work, all this stuff. So when you do that, you'll see it more. So these same people I'm talking about, when more people around them, when more people start healing their inner child, they will start getting seen. People will start seeing them more. Like, oh, God, I know what he's talking about. Oh, listen to what they're saying. oh, listen to what they're doing. Listen, watch the looks that are coming on their face. Like I've seen stuff now where, I mean, I've seen, oh my God, I wonder how many women I've seen with this shit now with anger, where they were trying not to show the anger and it's coming out in one way, shape, or form. Coming out in really, really toxic ways. Because they were not doing their inner child and inner shadow work. So they were angry, but they didn't want you to see they were angry. The anger was there, and they wanted to act like, oh no, no, I'm not. I'm like, hey, how's it going? This is how we really are. No, they're not. So they're being fake. They're not being themselves, and they're wearing masks. And they try to keep that going. So they're trying to repress and suppress. That means it comes up in some way, shape, or form, and it comes out really toxic. You don't repress to suppress anything. You're not supposed to repress and suppress anything. Yeah, and I learned that like a long time ago. I don't repress or suppress anything. Whatever has to come up comes up. If it is emotions, you let the emotions come up. If it is whatever has to come up. How I feel is how I feel. Let it all come up. I don't repress or suppress anything. I let it come up, and then it clears. Because if you go like, I'm going to suppress this, no, don't even look at that anger, then it can turn inward. Then it can turn to sadness. Then that turns to depression. You don't want sadness, depression, so you have to feel your anger. Give me one sec. And it's trying to do what? Link? Break the link on. Link 2. That right there, and I can explain in another video. I was having stuff when I was having stuff with like spiritual warfare past couple years. And I'll discuss that in another video. And yeah, even the person describing here, they and their friends had pulled a bunch of stuff towards me, and they tried to make themselves look innocent, as they have. They built a really fake image in different ways. But I could write out quite a bit of who they really are. So that's the thing. I see people for who they are. I see the person, all of them, the light and the dark, all of it. And other people, maybe not, who haven't done as much of the inner child healing inner work, may not see that. And that, there's times that I've had to tell people, a bunch of people and friends over the years, of like, you need to look at, careful with this person over here, this and this with this person over here. I've told them this with family members, and then it comes out at some point. It always comes out. I can pick it out very easy. Yeah. Maybe I'll see that on other videos. I've been thinking about, do I go back and start teaching on here again? Certain things on Instagram, I was teaching, I did TikTok stuff on there. It has to feel like it has to, yeah, feel like something I feel like doing. Yeah, going on and doing some of the videos on Instagram right now, I'm not saying I'm going to stop doing it, because I don't intend to stop doing it, but just, I would need to be able to just talk and talk and talk as long as it has to be. It can come up and it can be whatever's coming through. But I mean, I have to think about this more, because, yeah, I'm seeing what some of these other people are doing and who they really are, and I'm kind of going, oh my God, guys, like, yeah. So yeah, I'll see what I want to get into on here. If I want to do another thing where I was teaching natural healing. I've learned a ton on natural healing stuff, but then I know other healing. And do I even want to get into that? So things like peptides and hormones and all sorts of stuff. So I know that. But then I also know stuff about food. I know stuff about energy healing. I know stuff with supplements. I know stuff with all this sort of stuff. What do I want to get into on here? And should it be on here, or do I do a teaching in some way? Do I teach any of that in like, do I feel like even, I don't know if I feel like teaching any of that person, or do I feel like a course? Do I feel, you know what I mean? I normally teach my spiritual stuff when I come, yeah, I'll be like, okay, I feel like I should teach this now. And a lot of time it'd be on YouTube. Or like, okay, I feel I need to do this now. And even with like people, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's what to see the amount of people was the amount of people out there teaching on social media that have done stuff. I've picked up on it that have tried to pull stuff that was just really fucking toxic and abusive, even as groups. People out there listening to some of these people that are really fucking fake, that are not willing to just hop on camera and talk. That I find out a bunch of them is like people are writing shit for them to say, or they're already writing it out to do it instead of just get right into it. I've had enough. And I've had enough of seeing when people are trying to act like, oh yeah, I'm being authentic when they're not, and they're just still being fake. They're still wearing masks, and then oh my god, like. It's so nice when you go and you watch a video when someone just puts on a camera and they're just like, oh wow, they're just being themselves. I love that. That's what I like. Put it on. Okay, guys, just start talking. Here you go. Okay, teach you about this, this, and this. This is coming up. And literally, like, sit before. I'm like, okay, what needs to come through? Okay, start talking. Going. But they care so much about, okay, how's this look? Oh, good. How do I look in the video? Oh, what is the lighting? Oh, what is this? What's that? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have, say, good lighting or any of that sort of stuff, but they're so focused on, like, when you can tell it's not real, it just feels gross. I don't like watching fake. I don't want someone else watching something that's obviously fake, but they're like, oh, that's been interesting to watch. What is in there? And then when they're working together with other people, they're also being fake and not being themselves. And I'm just like, oh my god, just do your fucking shadow work and actually be yourselves. Which means and these are the same people that are talking about certain things, about saying some of that, and I'm going, oh my god, like I can't describe how. And they're sitting there talking about that, and even some of them are saying, oh, be yourself, and then they go on camera, and then they turn into whatever that is that they put on. And then I'm like, what are you doing? I can see for sure you're not being yourself. What is going on? But you're out here saying, no, be yourself, but then they would get annoyed, or something would come up in them when someone actually is being themselves, because it will be going, hey guys, you're not being yourself, and this person over here is, and now you can see in you that you're not being yourself, and you don't like that because they're having to look at themselves. Yeah. So what am I at? Oh wow, I'm almost at 50 minutes. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. I'll see. What I feel like touching on here, I didn't like before this. Some people go, "Oh, you make a video every this time." No, I would find I'd wake up some days like, dude, I could do a couple videos like in a day, or sometimes I didn't do it in a week. But no matter what, I looked and I did. It averaged, yeah, like ended up being hundreds of videos were put out. But when I explain that, so I'm an intuitive, okay? So I do it like that, and I'm also a generator, which is in human design. So I make my decisions with my gut of like, this is a yes, this is a no. And so through intuition, so if I'm going, okay, I feel I should do this, then I'll go and do it. If I'm like, no, not right now, then I don't do it. And I mean, it changes as you move up spiritually. It shifts more too. It does. If you're in the fifth dimension, you don't think the same as somebody in eighth dimension or 12th dimension or higher. You don't. Your thinking's different. And that is the thing to try and you have to experience that and go through that to understand fully, because I can tell you some of this and you might like, okay, that seems interesting, but until you actually experience it, then you're like, oh, now I know what you mean. And it's not like how do I fully explain it? Your thinking's just, it's different. I don't want to use the term like linear and non-linear. It's just, it changes of how it comes to you. It changes. That's the best way to describe it. Like you're thinking, like, what we're thinking is different because higher light levels, and you actually go through detoxification. So you have less density in the body, less darkness. You're more light. So it affects things. So it's more light, more love. Yeah, things change quite a bit as far as your thinking. Yeah, like somebody that is sitting there in the 12th dimension or higher can look at somebody in the fifth and go like, why are you acting like that? Why are you thinking like that? What's going on? Because your thinking changes. There's a shift that happens. So as I'm saying that, I mean, people that are, some of these teachers, how they're acting, it's, yeah, how's their shadow? What's their darkness? What is the density they have in them? What's their light levels? What is their vibration? What dimensions do they function in? And then, of course, who is the person? All this sort of stuff. But that might be good now. Okay, I have 52 minutes. Yeah. I'll see if we'll get into that. Yeah. So, that might be good for that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add. One sec. Holds. Heal. Okay. So, I have stuff I'm clearing right here. I'll get into that in another video about stuff about warfare, stuff about, I already said on another video, people that were abusing power, people that were, I've touched on a bit about some of the people earlier. Maybe I'll get into that more. Maybe I'll see about if I want to teach some of that. Because, yeah, I mean, I'm always looking around like, okay, you guys went and did that. What is there to, how am I going to take this? Maybe I'll teach from this. There's something in with this. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm always learning. So, yeah. Yep, comments, questions down below if you want to mention that, anything there you want to, but what I said, this kind of was just what I felt needed to, yeah. What I need to say right now, I'll see what I do with this, and I'll see what I do. I feel drawn to teaching.